What children want to do is they want to separate it the way we separated this one, right? ln of A plus ln of B.
Yes.
And that's incorrect, okay?
Yeah.
So these two are not equal. Mr. President. Okay?
She should sing the.
She should sing this happy birthday.
For
No?
Just
On camera so you can put it on YouTube.
And she goes on like, woo!
Alright. And the other one was the one that we just talked about. So if I had the whole ln squared, that is not equal to 2 ln of A. Okay, don't make the mistake. It's not equal to what we did up here. Got it? So what we're going to do next is 5 examples. Right? This process of expanding is very important when we're finding derivative. Because instead of me having to do when we do the derivative, we need to actually get the derivative of the inside part. So if there were two things being multiplied, in order to get that derivative, I would have to do the what rule?
Product.
The product rule, right? And that's kind of annoying. Same thing here, I would have to do the what? The quotient rule, right? And that would cause me some trouble. So if I write it like this, then I just got to get the derivative of that part and add it to the derivative of that one. And it makes it really easy to work with. So that's why rewriting it in expanded form sometimes makes finding the derivative a little bit easier to do. Okay? Now you don't always have to expand completely. Sometimes you can just expand it to where it makes it easy to find the derivative. And we'll practice that tomorrow. Okay, today we're just going to practice expanding and condensing. Cool? Alright, so let's do it. Here they want me to expand. So what do I see is happening between the two arguments here? What's occurring? There's multiplication, right?
Yes.
So when we multiply, we add. So here we're going to add. So this would be like saying ln of 3 plus ln of e squared. Can I go further in this expansion?
Yes.
Yeah. What could I do?
ln of 3 plus 2 ln of
Bring down this 2, right?
Yes.
So that would be plus 2 ln of e. Could I go further?
Don't ln e.
ln and e, that's the value of 1, right?
Yes.
And 1 times 2 is simply 2. So this could go all the way to ln of 3 plus just 2 by itself. Cool?
Yeah.
Let's try the next one. What could I do there before I get started?
Oh, dang.
This would be ln of what? 3x plus 2 to what power? To the half, right? After I rewrite it like that, now I can expand it. So what can I do with that half power? Send them to the front. So now I have 1/2 ln of 3x plus 2. And now finding the derivative is that much easier. I don't have to do chain rule or anything, it just everything's going to work out for me. Cool? You'll understand tomorrow why we want to expand. Try number 3. What do you notice is happening there? Division, so that means I do what between the two arguments? Subtract them. So that will be ln of 6x minus ln of 5. So now, if I want the derivative of it, it makes it that much easier. I don't have to use quotient rule to get the derivative of 6x over 5. I can just go from there. Get the derivative of each one. Can I go even further? Yes, what's happening between these two arguments?
Multiplication.
Multiply, so we can change it to what?
ln of 6 ln
Addition, right? And ultimately, ln of 6 and ln of 5 are just what? Numbers, right? They're some number. They're not 6 and 5, they're numbers. Okay? But, what's the derivative of a number? 0, right? So now I don't even have to look at that, I just need to find the derivative of ln of x, right? Because those two would give me 0. Do you understand? Okay, cool. How about number 4 here? Do it step by step, okay? Don't panic, take it slow. What is it that you want to separate first? The division, so that would be the top minus the bottom, right? Bless you. So that's ln of x squared plus 3 squared minus ln of x times the cube root of x squared plus 1. Okay, so what could I do to the first one? Can I go further on that one? Bring the 2 to the front, so we have 2 ln of x squared plus 3, right? Minus, what can I do here? The radical, that would become what power?
1/3.
To the 1/3, right? But before I can do that, what's happening between them? They're being multiplied, so that becomes what? Addition, right? Now you gotta be careful because you're minusing everything. So I need to put minus and then put brackets because within there I'm gonna have something plus something. Okay? So I'm gonna have ln of the first term x plus ln of x squared plus 1 to the 1/3, right? Because it's the cube root. Now what could I do with that 1/3? Send them to the front. Some of you can do that already in your head because you're really good at working with logs. Some of you can't, so you need to show every step, right? Whatever level you're at is what steps you can skip. So this will become 1/3 ln of x squared plus 1. If you need to show step by step, then do it. One process at a time. Cool? Got it? Now let's do one where we have to condense and then that'll be it for today. Okay? And then you can do some practice problems. Now I want you to condense. Now I want you to go from something that has multiple logs back down to something that only has 1 log. So what I like to do on these problems to make my life easier is I underline the arguments. So those are the things that are going to be multiplied or divided, right? Okay, and next to it there's going to be one single ln. So looking at these, what's going to happen, because we got to start inside the parentheses. We're going to ignore this 2 for right now. What's happening between these two guys? There's a minus right there. Divided, right? So it's this divided by this, and then divided by that. Okay, so let's write that down. So we have x divided by x plus 1 divided by x minus 1. What do I have next to all of that? ln, and then what do I have next to that? 2. You understand? Okay, what can I do with these two denominators here?
Multiply.
Multiply, and what can I do with this power? Send them to the top, so I'm going to do both in the same shot. So we got ln of x over x plus 1 times x minus 1, and that whole thing in parentheses, what? Squared. So the only thing being squared is the arguments, the stuff in the parentheses, not the whole ln thing. Understand? Got it? Think you can do this? Right? We need to practice this so that way when it comes to finding the derivatives, if we need to expand to make our life easier, then we will expand, okay? So this is a skill that we needed to practice before that lesson. Everybody good? Alright, so let me go ahead and give you your assignment, and you can work on it, and that'll be it for today. Alright, if you finish, you won't have homework tonight for Halloween. You get to go trick-or-treating and give out candies.